League of Legends is full of Easter eggs and hidden details. From skins you didn't even realize are pay to win, subtle movie and video game references,
you belong in a museum,
all the way to secret lore-related quests so strong you'll question how they're allowed in ranked at all. And since it's the holidays, we figured why not take a break from the usual meta and educational content and just have some fun exploring some of the hidden details Riot snuck into the game we all love. But let's be honest, as fun as this video is going to be, it's not exactly going to help you climb. That's where skill cap comes in. We do the work for you, finding the strongest S tier picks, builds, and strategies before anyone else, while teaching you exactly how to use them with our commentary page. Then, to build you into a complete player, you'll gain access to our full fundamentals library, featuring courses from highly respected coaches like Rogue and Chippies, where instead of teaching you the generic advice you'll hear everywhere else, we focus on teaching you the skills that actually matter in your elo. And if you ever struggle to apply what you're learning, our Bronze to Diamond series takes real players just like you and documents their climb through the exact ranks you're stuck in. You'll watch them deal with real problems, make real mistakes, and find out the real solutions that help them break out, which is why at SkillCapped we've helped countless players finally reach the rank of their dreams. And we're so confident our system works that it's completely risk-free. If you don't climb at least 5 divisions while actively using SkillCapped, you get every penny back. So what are you waiting for? Check out the link in the description below to gain access to an exclusive one-time discount right now. So with the winter map finally making its return, what better place to start than diving in and exploring all the Easter eggs hidden across festive Summoner's Rift? Like how Riot transformed the Red Side shop into a full-on toy store. We've got Toy Soldier Gangplank, Renekton, Rel's Steed, an adorable Nara plush, Santa Gragas, and even a sad snow-covered re-gifted Amumu. You can even spot a bunch of nods to classic holiday skins: Katarina's Dagger, Snow Day Graves Snowblower, Dark Handy Fiddlestick's Tree, Snowstorm Siver's Icicle Chalikar, and even one of Maokai's wrapped saplings. Scattered all over the map, you'll also find little cookies or even snow sculptures shaped like familiar faces, like Bard, Tom, Briar, Master Yi, Lulu, and even a Lilia rocking a pair of sunglasses, which is a nod to popular streamer Dumb's Live, as well as many other champions. Swapping over to the blue side shop, Riot sprinkled in some throwbacks to removed but iconic items. We've got Innervating Locket, the original Luden's Echo, Deathfire Grasp, Frozen Mallet, Wriggle's Lantern, which are also scattered around the rift with both the updated and old icons. There's even the classic Mana Potion. I completely forgot these even existed. Then if you keep exploring the map, you'll find even more tributes to the relics and ghosts of Leagues past. There's a Hextech Gunblade, Will of the Ancients, the old spell vamp item for champions like Vlad and Kata, Banner of Command, Chalice of Harmony, an item which once built into Athene's unholy grail, Heart of Gold, and even a penguin who's had one too many Oracle's elixirs, an item that countered certain champions so hard Riot had to remove it. You'll also be able to spot a few old school control wards and where the term Pink Ward originated from. In mid lane, you can even spot a reference to popular content creator, streamer, and ex-pro Kadril, the Rat King himself. Situated exactly at the unfortunate location where he once showcased an iconic and never seen before Malzahar combo, the Flash Arcancel. And speaking of content creators, there's even a reference to League lore extraordinaire, Necrit. But without a doubt, the best Easter egg on the entire map is hiding in the bot lane Tribrush. If you look closely, you'll spot a set of green wards, with one of them wearing glasses, a tribute to retired pro Skara and the infamous Skara ward. But here's where things get crazy, because not all Easter eggs are just subtle nods or references. There are lore-based Easter eggs so strong that can actually impact your ranked games in ways you'd never even expect. They're called Nemesis Quests, hidden in-game missions tied to champion rivalries, where if both players show up in the same game and certain conditions are met, a quest triggers for both players, with the winner gaining a reward. The one most players know is The Hunt Is On. This triggers when Rengar and Kha'Zix are in the same game on opposite teams and both reach level 16. Rengar needs all 5 of his passive trophies, and Kha'Zix has to have evolved 3 abilities. The quest will then start, with the first to get a takedown on the other becoming the victor. If Kha'Zix wins, he unlocks a 4th evolve, letting him upgrade all 4 of his abilities, which is incredibly strong. If Rengar wins, his passive transforms into the head of Kha'Zix, giving him a 6 stack, increasing his passive to 36% bonus attack damage, which this late into the game is a massive boost. But with either being such a huge spike, it can easily swing the entire game. There's also the iconic clash between Senna and Thresh. In the lore, Senna was once a Sentinel of Light who was captured and imprisoned by Thresh himself. If they end up on opposing teams and Senna collects 100 mist and Thresh Thresh gathers 40 souls, their Nemesis quest, Sentinels of Light, will begin. And as a bonus, if Lucian's on Senna's team, he can join the quest too. Fitting since they're married and he's the one who freed her from Thresh. If Thresh dies within 3 seconds of taking damage from Senna or Lucian, Senna will gain 40 stacks of his passive, granting her 40 ability power and armor. But if either Senna or Lucian die first after taking damage from Thresh, he gains 40 mist, netting him 40 AD, 50 attack range, and 30% critical strike chance. One of the more recent and easily one of the most unique Nemesis quests is the showdown between Hui and Jin, where if both champions are on opposing teams and reach level 12, the Golden Ratio quest will begin, where the objective is to kill the other within 3 seconds of hitting them with your ultimate ability. If Hui is victorious, he gains the Golden Artist passive, earning 3.33% magic penetration, but if Jin wins, he gains 4.444 additional lethality. Minor compared to some of these, but still very cool. Probably one of the most impactful though is between Bel'Veth and Jax, where if on opposing teams just before Baron Nashor spawns, they will gain the quest Fishing in the Lavender Sea, with the goal to be the first to take down Baron. If Jax and his team are victorious, he gains the passive Apex Angler, granting him 5% bonus attack speed and another 5% every time he gets a kill or assist on her for the rest of the game. Whereas if Bel'Veth is the first to take down Baron, she gains Drown the Doomed. This causes Jax to drop an enhanced Void Coral on takedown, which is actually massive. Normally, champions and even Dragon drop a regular Void Coral, which Bel'Veth can pick up to enter her empowered form, giving her bonus max HP, damage, attack speed, and letting her Q go through walls for 1 minute. But enhanced Void Corals, which normally only come from Grubs, Herald, or Baron, last 2 minutes longer and also cause dead minions to spawn Voidlings. So by winning this Nemesis quest, Bel'Veth gets access to something she can potentially get only 3 times per game. And since picking up a normal coral refreshes the enhanced corals timer back to 3 minutes, makes this quest one of the most impactful in the entire game. But not every Nemesis quest is game breaking. In fact, some of them are, well, a little underwhelming, like the Renekton versus Nasus one, Bad Blood, where once both champions reach level 11, you're tasked to kill the other while your ultimate is active. Whoever wins will gain 3 extra seconds on their ultimate while growing noticeably bigger, and for the loser, their ultimate will actually make them smaller than usual. Another quest between 2 champions, both equally as unwilling to die, is Kindred versus Tryndamere, where at level 11, the quest Death Defied starts. Both champions are tasked to take down the other within 15 seconds of them activating their ultimate abilities. The reward, Kindred, if she wins, will gain an extra passive stack, whereas Tryndamere, oddly enough, gains an extra second on the duration of his W, Mocking Shout. Easily one of the most dramatic is the grudge match between Kayle, Morgana, and Aatrox. If Aatrox and Kayle are on opposing teams, both hit level 11, the quest World Ender begins. And like the Lucian and Senna one, if Morgana's on Kayle's team, she can join the quest too, which makes sense considering their lore. Aatrox has to take down Kayle or Morgana twice before they can do the same to him. If Aatrox wins, he gains Sweet Oblivion, a buff that makes his ultimate World Ender last an extra 3 seconds, and even makes him visually larger. But if Kayle and Morgana come out on top, they earn Guardian of the Realm. Kayle gets whopping 10 seconds off her ultimate cooldown, and Morgana gets 2.5 seconds off her Black Shield cooldown, with again both effects becoming noticeably bigger. But what might just be the most game-changing Nemesis quest in the entire list happens between the 2 perma-stacking dragons, Smolder and Aurelion Sol. The moment they're both level 9 with at least 70 stacks each, Dragon's Horde activates. Once the quest is active, every stack either Smolder or Aurelion Sol earns gets added into a shared pot, with whoever gets the first takedown on the other cashing out, earning anywhere from 15 to 60 stacks, which at the max is basically the equivalent of 10 whole waves worth of additional passive stacks instantly. And from dragons fighting over stacks, we go straight into the shadows with our final Nemesis quest, Zed versus Shen. Like most of these, it also activates once both champions reach level 11 and are on opposing teams. For Zed to win, he has to take down 2 enemy champions near Shen, all while avoiding being killed by him. If he succeeds, he earns Enlightened Shadows, which buffs his passive to deal an extra 2% max health damage, which is honestly very minor. The rewards in this case heavily favor Shen, because if he manages to stop Zed first by scoring a takedown on him before Zed gets those 2 kills, Shen gains Enforced Equilibrium, increasing the shield from his key barrier by 30%, granting a massive boost for his survivability. And that wraps up all the Nemesis quests in League, but we're not done yet, because Riot has hidden even more Easter egg interactions throughout the game that most players will never even notice. Like, did you know that the blue buff will actually dance with you? Well, that is if you're playing with either Popstar Ahri or any of the KDA skins. And speaking of blue buff, picking it up with Syndra W Force of Will and throwing it will restore 10 mana and reduce the cooldown of the ability by 1 second. Whereas with red buff, any enemies you throw at it will apply the red buff Slow and Burn. Or how while out of combat and in the river, Jax will begin fishing, occasionally catching fish that give gold and ability power. There's even a super small chance to catch a rare fish, granting you 10 AP and 10 gold. So next time you're playing Jax, rather than just AFKing, get out in the river and earn some free gold. And while people love calling certain skins pay to win because of things like harder to see spell effects or even just smoother animations, some skins actually reduce the damage you take, as if you're you're against Leona, her passive Sunlight will do exactly 1 less damage to any champion skin equipped with sunglasses. Whereas Zyra, as she's, well, a plant, will actually grow visibly larger if hit by any of Leona's abilities. There's even a completely hidden item called Witch's Hat that barely anybody has ever seen before, because the only way it exists is if Aurora gets her death cap upgraded by Ornn's passive. Rek'Sai, when buying the aptly named Tunneler component, will actually gain 1 additional movement speed when burrowed. Pike gains 1 additional movement speed when in the river, which is a small nod to his fisherman background and home in Bilgewater. And as Rumble is in love with Tristana in the lore, he gains 1 extra movement speed towards her when on the same team, and is also the reason why his mech suit is named Tristy. But speaking of small champions, Fizz's ultimate, Chum the Water, will actually consume the bodies of any champion on the shorter side, leaving nothing behind. Rift Herald will dance along with any champion, but Scuttlecrab on the other hand only dances with Tahm Kench. But one I'm sure a lot of you will know is that Nunu, when killed, drops 2 souls for both Thresh and Senna, which is weird as Sejuani only drops 1. One of the rarest Easter eggs of all time, though, comes from Heimer, where after scoring a pentakill, he gains the unique buff Eureka, where having solved the problem of having enemies who are still alive, using careful experimentation, he has adjusted their alive status for science. Riot's even gone as far as to hide Easter eggs in the item search terms. For instance, typing in tons of damage will bring up Trinity Force, which is a nod to Freak's catchphrase in the old Riot Champion spotlights. Jimmy Neutron will bring up Sheen, which is a reference to the character Sheen Estevez. LS will bring up Leandri's Torment and Morello, a reference to content creator and ex-LCK caster, after he famously advocated for building Leandri's over Morello. Then we've got the Golden Bicep or Arm of Kobe, which brings up ARAM item Guardian's Horn, an Easter egg born after LCS caster Kobe looked at the icon and went, ah yes, that's a bicep. Now we all know Riot loves pulling inspiration from pop culture, movies, and game franchises, or even anime when designing skins, so let's take a look at some of our favorites. First up is Foxfire Ahri, Explorer Ezreal, Safari Caitlyn, and Chrome Rammus, which if you couldn't figure out by the names alone are all references to different internet browsers. I wonder who's going to be getting the Opera skin. Hired Gun Lucian is based off Morpheus from the popular Matrix film series, with his recall even being based on the famous red pill, blue pill scene. And then there's Striker Lucian, which is unmistakably inspired by former soccer player Edgar Davids. Goggles, hairstyle, everything. Riot even nailed the look so perfectly that Edgar Davids even filed a lawsuit over it and won. The entire Warring Kingdoms and Dragonblade skins are all very clearly based off of the video game series Dynasty Warriors, while Yellow Jacket and Frozen Shen are obvious references to Mortal Kombat. And this Rammus skin definitely reminds me of some other video game character. But what's your favorite Easter egg or reference? Let us know in the comments below. Now, we know this video is a little different from our usual content, so let us know if you liked it and want to see more stuff like this. And remember, if you're looking to rank up fast next season, there's no better place than Skill Capped. Check it out today using the link in the description below. Thanks for hanging out, and we'll catch you in the next video.